So that's all I have. Unless we could sing like Kaliko Jana or something, but I can't do all the Swahili.
No, Deo is not here, but I know someone is.
Yeah? Someone can sing the verse.
Here.
Dio, get
Let's
up
go
here.
for Dio. Dio, come over. Come over.
While he's coming up, though, I do want to say one thing, that it's really exciting to be here and see what's happening in the different communities and community-based organizations. Because like I said, I work at Save the Children, which is an international NGO. I come from the private sector. I work back in the U.S. in a business management consulting firm where we do a lot of like private sector work. And real sustainable change in our communities is going to happen when people, you know, create new things to do and new markets and find a business and, you know, find your skills, if it's in art or whatever it is, and find a way to make it happen. And to hear the stories today, it was really encouraging. So I'm going to leave you with one thing I heard on the radio today. It was a quote from Steve Jobs, you know, the guy who invented the Apple iPhones. And he said, he looked around one day at society and realized that everything I see, someone made it up at some point. So the guitars we play, the phones we use, the cars we drive, the buildings we sit in, the way our societies work, like who holds the power and who do we give respect to? Like, someone just made that up at some point. Like, we as a community create those structures. We create the shirts that we get to wear, you know? So, I don't know, I found it very encouraging. Everything you see in our society, someone made that up. So you could be that someone. If you have an idea to make the world look different and a better place, do it, and the world will be a better place.
We are singing. We are singing. You can have your seats if you're tired, but you can also sing along. Move your body at least.
Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Kuishi si kama binadamu abadilike, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Baraka zake hazikuishi, si kama binadamu abadilike, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana. Kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana. Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Baraka zake hazikuishi, si kama binadamu abadilike, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana. Kuliko jana. Yesu nipende leo kuliko jana. Wewe ndo nategemea, chochote kitanikazia. Wewe ndo nategemea, chochote kitanikazia. Oh, wewe ndo nategemea, chochote kitanikazia. Wewe ndo nategemea, chochote kitanikazia. Bwana ni mwokozi wangu, tena ni kiongozi wangu, ananipenda leo kuliko jana. Kama binadamu badiliki, ananipenda leo kuliko jana, kuliko jana, kuliko jana. Yesu anipende leo kuliko jana.
Let's give up for Dale again. Nice. Nice. We can have the concert going. Amazing. So no one should be leaving kindly. We still have more for you. Some more music coming through. And yeah. Yeah, so I'm aware that we have more guys coming to present about what they do. I just want to remind you that the event that you're on or in, it's Youth on the Move. We want to celebrate youths who are doing amazing things in the community, positive things, drawing from businesses, initiatives, organization, anything that they do to the community. Those are the people we are celebrating today. And to just wrap it up with some awesome speech, or rather facilitation from someone who I really appreciate the fact that she's been able to make it. I want to invite a lady, or I don't know what I can say, but her name is Hafsa Khalifa. Let's go for Hafsa Khalifa. I met Hafsa some time ago, then I pitched her the idea. She liked it and she was willing to come and talk to the youth. So she's a writer. I don't want to preempt what she'll be talking about. So let's go for Hafsa Khalifa again. That's my appreciation. So let's do it better for Hafsa. In fact, this is what we'll do. We'll do a rain clap. So we'll start with 1, then 2, then 3. Then 4, 5, then 2.
Like there's food after.
Yeah, there's food after, so should have energy for that. Yeah, so let's go. I want to see people clapping. So let's start the first one. Let's go. Manyunyu. Let's go to the second one. Second one. Third one. And the fourth one. And then let's throw it like a bombshell. Let's go. Nice, everyone.
First of all, I want to open up by saying thank you for all coming to this event. I always try and remember that, you know, we live in a world where we're constantly always on the go. So it's nice when you get the time to actually interact and exchange knowledge. My name is Hafsa. I'm Somalian, raised in Nairobi until the age of 7. Then migrated to England in a small town called Northampton. About 3 years ago, I decided to move to London in order to write a book about myself, and now I've come back. My family have just realised this year that I'm writing a book, and they were really shocked and said, brought the whole idea? And I said, I've noticed that we've all got a story to tell in life. And from a very young age, I used to always write about people, little short stories, poems. So I didn't really study, literature or anything like that. My background in terms of education is an educator for primary school, so teaching. But 3 years ago I decided I wanted to stop because I decided to start doing some community work. I realised from working with a lot of children from deprived areas that there's more to their story than, you know, the battles they have on a day-to-day basis. You know, it's to do with their family, it's to do with their community, it's to do with, you know, their nation. So it's much more depth than, oh, I'm going to try and fix this. So I realized with doing crazy hours of teaching that actually you're not going to really contribute towards, I mean, you do, you know, teachers do amazing, but in terms of the wider range of communicating for influence, being inside a classroom is not going to expand and, I guess, challenge people in terms of their perspectives. So decided to use myself as a case study 3 years ago in order to start this book. Now, I've been here back home for 6 months now, after 10 years of visiting my family. I initially came for my niece's wedding here, then I decided, right, you know, you've been writing this book for 3 years now, you know, put it into practice, publish it, share it. But I mean, the struggles that come with on a day-to-day basis of trying to create something, whether it's an idea or whether it's a business, like I mentioned at the start, we're always on the go. You know, we're going to always come across different barriers, whether that's, you know, within your family, at work, financially. Everyone's got a different balance of life where they have issues, but I'm a very thankful and grateful person, and I've gained grace through, I guess, just using my disadvantages in life to navigate and think, right, well, you know, so what, this has happened to you, or this has, you know, gone wrong, but I'm thankful that I'm breathing. What about those that are worse, and what can you do to contribute towards a better change in the world and in society? I want to try and interact with people more, so I don't want it to be just like where I'm standing here and I'm speaking. So hands up who's a refugee here or considers themselves as a refugee. Okay, alright. What about youth? Okay, more hands. That's nice. Okay. As I was saying, trying to communicate for that change in the world, you're going to come across so many barriers. Some of the things I've learned wrapping up my book towards the end of this year has been consistency. So making sure you try and gain your own individual holistic health that gives you your own balance to carry on with, you know, things you want to do, your ambitions, your goals, and, you know, finding ways to just jump those barriers. One of the most difficult things I came across in the education system back in England was the paradigm, and it happens with a lot of work sectors where there's that paradigm of, you know, overall we want to change every few years, but then there's that challenge of, you know, high, low, medium, and I thought, do you know what, I started dragging myself to work, and I said, I've always said that I'll try and do something I enjoy, which is, you know, stimulating, but also actually giving back. So I said, right, it's time to go back home and see what challenges there is that I can get involved. One of the main highlights I've noticed is some of the amazing work that's, you know, going back in the communities, and how it's very on the low in terms of politically speaking. It's not really spoken about. We see highlights of, you know, Kenyan youth having issues regards jobs and stuff, but let's look deeper, you know. Systematically speaking, this is not something that's been going on for the past years. It's been going on for a long time. I was raised in Isli, so coming back now and going back to where I was raised, I saw challenges, but I also saw growth in terms of innovation, and seeing how, you know, business really is on the base of and foundation of, you know, interaction and, you know, building something that the community needs. Someone was mentioning, I can't remember your name, Andrew, yeah, about the importance of everything has, you know, he heard a quote this morning that everything is made. and that's just an idea that's been created by somebody, and everyone sitting here has an idea on a day-to-day basis, you know, and it's just about thinking, okay, well, how can I build that seed, and realizing as well, you know, the importance of that is what you feed into your seed. So, you know, challenging yourself to thinking, okay, you know, setting yourself goals, but realistic goals, you know, not I want to be a billionaire in the next year. I mean, who knows, but it's realistic ones where you're able to balance yourself on a holistic level, and you're able to, you know, live a joyful life, I would say. A lot of people say, oh, you know, how did you decide to really get into writing, and what inspired you about it? And I said storytelling, because we all have a story to tell in life. And within the book, it's split into two. So one part is a memoir, and the other part is based on a research case study about myself in 3 chapters: philosophy, psychology, and sociology. The reason I chose those topics was because they're things that I most am interested in writing about and making observations on. The way I've started to originally split the chapters was on my busy London lifestyle on the underground, and I noticed people were very robotic all the time. There wasn't much interaction, and I thought, wow, it's crazy how we, you know, we live in an era where technology is so advanced now that we don't need to wait for a response from somebody for years, or, you know, a week or whatever, but we're so occupied in it that we're missing out on that, you know, one-to-one communication. So I decided to observe people, and I decided about a year ago a project called Token of Kindness. So it's just about observing people and thinking, right, you know, I'm just going to write a little poem. People react to it different. Some people, you know, it touches them in a different way, because for me it was about humanizing one another and just having that, you know, I guess pause of like, oh wow, you're being kind, you're smiling, you're helping somebody, you know. And every few months I focused on different categories of people, I'd guess, in society. So sometimes it was focusing on parents that I'd see, you know, they're a bit exhausted, untying their tie, they look frustrated, but they'd still have, some of them would still have time to do some homework with their child and just send in a little note. And sometimes it's the child getting excited, you know, and again, it's about learning how to communicate. For me, it was learning how to communicate with people on different levels. So I wouldn't per se go to a child and go give a token of kindness. You've got to interact with their parent first, and you know, so it's, I guess it was that challenge of, okay, everyone's going to respond to things different, especially when they don't know the reason behind it, but it's all about your intentions and just how you go on about it. So yeah, thank you for, you know, giving us the space in this community to be able to just exchange knowledge. And, you know, one of the greatest reminders that I always try and, you know, practice in my own life, first each one, teach one. So on a day-to-day basis, you know, we're always learning and just communicating, and just, I think for me, within my journey, kindness was a big thing, and it allowed me to really be able to interact with people and humanize them. But firstly, it allowed me to be able to humanize myself. So with all the barriers, struggles, and journeys you guys have and yet to have, just remember to be kind to yourself and to others around you.
Amazing. Let's appreciate Hafsa again. For those who are Swahili speakers, and it happened that this English was too fast, kindly see us through. Yeah, but I know everyone was able to get one or two things. One highlight that I've gotten from the talk, or rather the conversation, is that we need to use our challenges to navigate through the different things that we want to achieve in our lives, because these are the stepping stones to what you actually want. Because the moment I pass through something, I'm able to realize that yes, I can do it, I can pass through this, and I'll sustain myself to keep on going and going and going. Are we the youth that we want for future? If you believe you're the youth